All
Matt
right,
Cain.
guys, welcome back to another episode of 2025 GM Bar Managers Interview. I just said that twice. GM Bar Managers Interview. Tonight we got Mr. Andrew Haynes joining us with his club, Frostbite Falls Flying Squirrels. Eventually, he might shorten up the name, but I doubt it.
If
So,
Jeff Moore ever
welcome.
leaves the league, then I don't have the natural name rivalry because his Pottsylvania Creepers are from the Rocky Bullwinkle show as well. So at that point, if it happens, maybe I'll change it.
There you go. That way, you can't claim victory. Well, welcome, guys. As you guys are accustomed to, we're gonna walk you through a little bit of how Frostbite's Fall ended their 2024 season. They made a push for quite some time to stay in contention, and just things were not coming together. From late in the season to kind of grasp that last playoff spot in our division, which, as a reminder, everybody again, that was the tougher division where Andrew, if he would have been in another division, would have secured a playoff spot easily.
Easily. Yeah.
But that was not the case. So, walk us through, Andrew, your 2024 season and how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think I said in my interview last year that I didn't have high expectations of contending. Um, you looking at my roster going into the year, I had one good starting pitcher and a decent offense, but I realized, especially when the divisions were drawn, that wasn't going to be enough in that division. I do felt I played better than I expected. Before going to the draft, I wasn't thinking that I really had much of a shot, and then I think I had a really good draft. Picking up a number of starting pitchers and really shoring up the rotation that way. And I think, as has been mentioned many times, I think it was really, starting pitcher injuries that really sunk me. Because I think the offense got some good midseason updates, and got Paul Skeens in there, who didn't perform nearly as well as his seed, to be honest. Um, but Kyle Bradish falling to me, I had to take the chance at where I was in the first round. And when I saw the updates that he was preparing for the season, I went with it, and I got a decent couple of starts out of him. But then the surprise surgery happened, and I lost him. And Kodai Senga was supposed to come back earlier than he did, and then he pitched great that one game and got hurt that one game, and so those two injuries were huge. I think with those two, I certainly am much closer to a playoff spot. Um, but I'm pretty pleased with how last year went. I think that I made a couple good trades at the trade deadline, recognizing much better than Farhan Zaidi did that my team was probably not going to get into the playoffs. Uh, I still, I was vocal about it, and I thought the Giants should have traded Blake Snell at the deadline, and they didn't. And hey, they got a no hitter out of him, which they'll be able to celebrate when he returns in hated Dodger blue. And so they got a no hitter out of a losing season from a guy that ended up going with the rivals. So kind of a sucky thing. Anyway, off the tangent. I really thought that toward the end of the season there, the last couple of weeks, I really felt my team was in good position to make a push to get the playoffs, and uh, then it just crumbled. And Luis, I know you played really well those last couple of weeks, and going into the last couple of weeks, I think you weren't playing well, and I was playing decently, and fortunes just changed. But I thought I had a legitimate chance to sneak up based on the schedule remaining between the two teams, but I didn't. Um, I don't think I would have gone far in the playoffs unless my starting pitching, played above their seed. But I think all in all, it was a very good building season to get me ready for this year.
Very good. Yeah, there was talks in other interviews about last year being the first year that MLB introduced the pitch clock and how that affected some managers, right? Where we're blaming the effing pitch clock on a lot of the injuries, but in your case, it was just almost freakish type injuries, like you said, key guys coming back from one game and getting injured. So it's tough to decide on what to do at that point when it's sort of. You know, you don't you can't a little gun shy on on going in deep and then something bad
Yeah.
happening. So
Yeah.
I get you that, but we'll pass it on to Anthony for the commissioner's corner and a set of questions.
Alrighty, so just the typical three questions we kind of have every year from me. So, how do you feel about your chances? I know you kind of touched on them a little bit ago. How do you feel about your chances headed into this year? Um, and then also, who would you consider to be like, your betting favorite, quote unquote, and then a potential dark horse that you may see?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on my chances. Running the numbers, assuming some guys float, which may not be the case. And if they don't, I'll have plenty of salary cap space to maybe snipe someone. But if some guys float, I think my offense can be very good. Really only having maybe one or two holes versus righties versus lefties, like one each side probably. And so I'm probably I'm feeling like I'm definitely one of the favorites in my division, if not overall. I think my starting pitching, of course, is very good and very deep. My bullpen, I have a couple of excellent relievers, and then a number of guys who had very good years and just have like one flaw type of deal. And then defense, I'm okay in some spots. I'm very good in some spots. I'm fair in some spots and kind of weak. But I think my offense makes up for that in many ways. And so I should be good to go. I think I am one of the favorites. And just honestly, James is right up there with me. Chris, I would assume, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's always in the mix, so can't count him out. Uh, Dark horse wise, I really feel like Gira has a really good roster. He has a lot of talent on it. Will he make the salary cap work? Who knows? Assuming he's thinking it's 280 again. I don't really know. No, but I think if he's smart about it, he might have a good shot.
Very nice. Very cool, man. Well, with that, we'll step into your surprise question, where in this case is a scenario that has two parts to it. Um, Imagine you're a high score college ball player. You decide if you're a pitcher or a fielder, your choice. But come draft day, you get picked by the San Francisco Giants, your favorite team, and you make the best of your time out there. And guess what? You have a nickname. What would be your player nickname for you? You can
You
base
cut
it
out for a
based on
moment
your.
there, so I'm not
Oh,
sure what.
I'm sorry. I said this. If you were selected by the Giants as a
Mhm.
player, right? Whether you're a pitcher or a fielder, that's your choice. But during your time there, people start giving you a nickname. What would be the nickname that you would have, and why, and how that come about? Based on whatever you like, you might already have one.
I am terrible at nicknames for myself. Um, my my little league team in sixth grade, we all had nicknames like sewn onto the back of our hats, and I could not think of anything. And Carl Malone was big at that time, and he was the mailman, right? And so someone suggested, or I came up with the mailman. I wasn't a jazz fan, but he was popular. I didn't deliver. I hit like 280, and in Little League, that's terrible. So I don't know about that. Man,
Better
nickname,
than
I don't
the
know, with
milkman.
the first half of my last name being Hayne, Hay. Maybe I'm the new say hey kid.
Oh, dang. The say hey. Okay. All right. Well, for those of you watching, you know that my request is going to be, when you watch this, if you do come up with a nickname for Andrew, let it be known. Let us hear and tell a reason why. So, but the second part to your question is now you reach that you're about to hit that 6 years of service time, so you're going to become a free agent. But the Giants decide to trade you. Where would you want to be traded to, and why? What team?
Based on current
Just
MLB
your choice.
situations.
Just your choice. I mean, it could be present or the future, or every manager has come up with so far with their why. whether it's for future value or, you know, like just another favorite team you might have. Will you go to Japan?
Yeah, I'll go with the Rangers. They're kind of my AL team at the moment, the AL team du jour, if you will. Yeah, a lot of respect for the organization. Boch is the manager. Yeah, could definitely do worse than that. So I think I do the Rangers.
Get a game under the boat. That'd be good. I'm wondering how tall he is standing next to you. He has a big fella. That is
Hmm.
one intimidating fella. When you see him
Hmm.
sitting down in the dugout in person, you don't even realize he's sitting down because he's just so tall, even sitting down, man. They're just bulky hunk of a guy, dude.
Yeah,
So good deal, guys. Well, keep an eye out for the videos that are coming up next. And Anthony, Andrew, thank you for your time today. I will make sure we keep you up to date on the next one's coming up. Good luck to your season, guys.
cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Easy.